everybody, welcome to the Deluise book series channel. I'm Christina, Christina, and today we're talking about The Lady's Mind by Francine Rivers. And when I first saw this book, I had just finished reading the book about Louise, Queen Victoria's daughter. So I was going through this historical kind of thing. So when I picked this up, I will confess that I saw 1875 when Catherine Welsh arrives in tiny Calvert, and that was it. I didn't read past that. I was like, oh, little history. What I was not expecting was a Western. Does this look like a Western to you? Because to tell you the truth, I never even noticed the cowboy in the center here. Okay? Does this look like a cowboy? Yes, it does. Does that look like a cowboy? Yeah, it does. Does this look like Deadwood? Well, it sounds like Deadwood. This is in here. All right, so it's not the same place. It has a different name. So, my first impression was that she was a very proud, very willful, very determined female lead character. It's sometimes very frustrating when there is an unsaid physical attraction between lead characters, but one of them is, in the case of the female lead, goes to the enemy camp hotel to avoid the good guy and stubbornly tries to do everything herself. All once I found out what this was, I was very tempted to put it down, but I was really drawn into it to see what happened next, especially the murder mystery of who killed her uncle. I also felt bad that her mom had allowed her stepfather to send her away. I'm still not sure what I expected the book to be about. I certainly didn't sound like a cozy mystery, but it does have some of those qualities, like a Victorian Thompson Gaslight series, with Sarah working as a midwife and solving mysteries with Frank Malloy. Catherine has all the same makings of Sarah Brant working to improve lives of those less fortunate. She becomes a political newspaper crusader. I was unexpectedly drawn into this book and could not put it down. It had a steady pace, no real downtimes. The storyline continued straight on. The plot line continued straight on. And she worked to bring justice to women who were homeless or husbands had died and widowed and left them alone, and they needed food, they needed water, they needed medical care. She tried to improve the men's safety in the mines. She tried to encourage the town people with the newspaper, and she started all these different crusades. And she also made a few very interesting discoveries along the way. Some surprising little cliffhangers at the end. It was really surprising that how much I liked this book. I didn't expect to like it, but I really got drawn into it, and it's over 400 pages, and itsy bitsy little font. But I was like, can you imagine if this was large print? It would be like 800 pages. It was really good, and it maintained a PG kind of rating, possibly even G rating. There's really no adult stuff in it, no graphic stuff in it. It was just a woman fighting for a good cause, fighting for women's rights, fighting um, to help improve the town that she moved into, that she inherited, and a lot of little secrets were revealed along the line. There was couple of subplots that you weren't even aware were subplots. You just automatically assumed that guy A was the bad guy. And he sort of was, because he tried a few times unsuccessfully to convince Catherine to marry him, and she wanted no part of him, and he tried to even use some force, and she ran away, and we had always suspected that he might be the bad guy who had murdered her supposed spoiler uncle, but he ends up getting killed himself. And it isn't until the very end of the book that all these other subplots are revealed. And it was really very interesting, and you weren't even aware that these subplots existed. And one of the really good things was that I was really surprised. I had expected that when they got married, because it is a little bit of a romance, that's where the book would end, happily ever after. But no, it continued for several more chapters. The story progressed. There were some storylines that were kind of like dropped, small little bits, like the reasoning for her panic to get married was that her stepfather had decided to take control of stuff, but that was kind of just like left. It was like used as her motivation, one of the motivations for her marriage, but then it was dropped. But I also surprised me was that there's a little, the story ends here, and then in the back of the book, there was a little epilogue, and it says what happens next for the next 30 years. It was really good. I really liked it. It was really different. When I saw the title, I was like, The Lady's Mine, like the lady is mine. I didn't realize it meant the lady's mind, like gold mine or silver mine or copper mine. Who'd have thought? But it does. It reminds me a lot of Deadwood. It does. But I did not expect this in here. This looks like a Western to you. Well, it's not quite Western. It's not quite Texas. It's quite Nevada, but still. She really struggles for these women's causes, but it's really good. And she even rides a stagecoach and everything, and that's when I knew I was in trouble. Like, what did I get a Western? What did I get a Western for? But it actually drew me in, and it actually kept my attention, and it actually kept me interested to want to read further, which really surprised me. Because I wasn't, when I finally figured out what it was, I was like, what did I pick this up for? Does this look like a Western? But let me read you what I didn't read. When Catherine Walsh arrives in tiny Calvada, a mining town nestled in Sierra Nevada, falling in love is the furthest thing from her mind. Banished from Boston, her wealthy stepfather, she has come to claim an inheritance from the uncle she never knew, a defunct newspaper office on a main street overflowing with brothels and saloons, and seemingly worthless mine. Moved by the oppression of the local miners and their family, Catherine decides to relaunch her uncle's newspaper, and then finds herself in the middle of a maelstrom pitted against Calvert's most powerful men. Hello. But Catherine intends to continue to say and publish whatever she pleases, especially when she knows she's right. Matthias Beck, owner of a local saloon and hotel, has a special interest in the new lady in town. He instantly recognizes C.T. Walsh's same tenacity in the beautiful and outspoken redhead and knows all too well how dangerous that family trait can be.